Well, once again, we are going back to one of my favorite games to play on my Xbox right now, and that is... That's right, everybody, we're going back to Dying Light 2 once again after having so many bloody videos of Dying Light 2 already. But this time we're going to talk about on why I'm still playing Dying Light 2, because most of you are wondering why the heck am I still playing this game. But anyways, we're going to go and get my past self to talk about Dying Light 2, which will be the different timestamps on the video if you want to check out the different ones. But anyways, everybody, I'll shut up, let's get into the video. We're back on Dying Light 2 again, but this time we're going to talk about why I'm still playing this game in 2024. So let's get into it. Yeah, it'll be great if you can pick a load, man. Goddamn Techland, what you be doing your spare time, man? Alright, let's just continue with the game and let's talk about it. So now a lot of you are going to be wondering, Jonathan, why are you playing Dying Light 2 still in 2024? Well, let me explain it to you in detail. So one of the first reasons why I keep playing Dying Light 2 is because of the combat. The reasoning behind with all the combat now on Dying Light 2 has improved so much over the years, because when Dying Light 2 first came out, it wasn't really like sort of that impressive compared to Dying Light 1, but over time with Techland updating their game to make it more better, it's gone to the point now that you can do so much in the game and have such a variety of different weapons as well to make you keep playing the game over and over again to try out new weapons and all of that. It actually feels really rewarding to unlock different weapons in the game. Until recently, they've added in that completely new update for the firearms, which was that previous video if you want to check that out. So overall, the whole combat, what they've done now, has been really impressive. Also including as well that you got all these different takedowns that you can do on the different zombies and even the enemies as well. It's been very impressive with what they have done to make things, well, very different and playable. Oh my god, it's so smart. So I will give Techland credit because they could have left this game and said, it's whatever. But instead, they actually proved to everybody that they can keep updating the game to make it much more better. I mean, also including as well how smooth that the combat actually is now. And every weapon feels unique now because it doesn't feel like you're using the same weapon over and over again. So if you use like a heavy weapon, it actually feel like a proper heavy weapon. Or if you're just going to use something different, like an axe or whatever else, or even a knife, it has its own feelings. So it's actually really good on what they have done in the game. So you don't really get bored of using the same weapons over and over again. I mean, the countless videos that are done on Dying Light 2, it still feels good every time I come back to this game. Even if you go into a new game, it still feels really good to actually play. Because it really feels like you're not that weak compared to what it used to be. And I understand that they were trying to go for story side of the game, but at the end of the day, it's a zombie game. You can basically do whatever you want. My experience on the combat has been really good. Compared to when you go and look at something like Dead Island 2, sometimes I wish that the gore system was like Dead Island 2. The gore system that they've done on this game is still pretty impressive. So that was mainly for the combat. Now let's talk about the parkour. The reason that I actually like the parkour in Dying Light 2 now is how you got such a variety of what you want to do in the game. I mean, there's so many different ways that you could do parkour over different ledges, for example. Like, instead of having the most basic jump feature, we could do all the different jumpings like these on the screen right now, and it's actually really impressive what you can do, because at the same time, the parkour in the game has doubled compared to what Dying Light used to be. It's mainly when you look at the skill trees on Dying Light 2 compared to Dying Light 1, and you've got so much more to do with the parkour on Dying Light 2. Also including of how big the open world actually is, you can do so much, and the way that Techland have made the map design as well, so you can do whatever kind of parkour that you want in the game, makes it so refreshing that you don't do the most basic ones all the time. I know Dying Light 1 was still good, but when you compare to what Dying Light 2 has now, you were only able to do so much in Dying Light 1 because you only had 2 areas to really parkour. This one, you've got basically 2 different areas that you can do parkour. And it also feels really refreshing to do because it's so satisfying to just jump around, do parkour, and get away from the zombies, especially those volatiles. And it's also really cool as well to see the in-depth of the parkour, of how much Techland have done as well. The parkour experience on the game now, when they did that brand new update, is so much more better than what it used to be. I love Dying Light 1's parkour, but sometimes Dying Light 2 just took it to a whole nother level, and my god, I absolutely love it. But hey, if you let me know about your experience on Dying Light 2, let me know down in the comments down below. And thirdly, the next reason why I still play Dying Light 2 is that there is so much content to do in the game. But first off, we need to talk about what really happened with Dying Light 2. It was unfortunate what happened to Dying Light 2 because the game that Techland showed off for Dying Light 2 was actually not what we got when the game was fully released back in 2022. 2022. And I mean, the countless bugs and glitches that the game had really put people off because there was such a big fan base on Dying Light. And when Dying Light 2 was announced, the community went bigger and stronger than ever before. But when Dying Light 2 did come out, yeah, that was a bit of a problem, wasn't it? Even for my experience on Dying Light 2, the game was playable and I actually had a really good time when it first came out. But over time, I understand why a lot of people did not like it because it was pretty bare bones at the end of the day. Because I mean, the zombies were quite basic. It was cool to have all these different variants before they updated the game, and now what they've got in Dying Light 2 now is so good, man. Like what I said on my other videos, they've updated the zombies now, they've updated the entire system of Dying Light 2. So when you go and play Dying Light 2 now, it's like you're playing a completely different game compared to what it used to be when it first came out, which I'm really happy that Techland have listened to the community and provided more updates over the years for us to finally play the game that came out when it first came out. I'm also excited as well because Techland have announced that there will be more content coming into the game. Also, that brand new DLC that will be coming out very soon. So I'm quite excited to see what DLC 2 is going to bring for Dying Light 2. The whole experience on Dying Light 2 is just really enjoyable, man. And you can also replay the campaign so many times because there's so many ways that you can choose of what you want to do in the campaign. Because I mean, you can have one section of you can follow this team or the other team, and it can really change up your entire experience on the game. And it can also lock out different parts of the game as well, depending on your actions on what you do in the campaign, which makes you want to keep playing the game over and over again to see what else that you could do in the game. And let's not forget about that this game has 22 story quests and also 95 side missions, and this number will keep going up and up over and over because of what they've been doing as well. They did say there was over 500 hours of gameplay, but that's mainly for the cutscenes. So for content wise, we'll be pretty good for now. I really do hope so, because otherwise I'll cry. So yeah, that is going to be the video. I really hope you guys understand on why I've been enjoying Dying Light 2. Also, let me know about your experience on Dying Light 2, like what I said earlier. Mainly if you guys are still playing Dying Light 2 or not, or what you enjoy on Dying Light 2, just let me know down in the comments down below. And hey, if you want to subscribe for more content, I really can't say why not. But besides everybody, my name's Jonathan. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and night. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys in my next video.